Got the flywheel painted. It's probably still a little, yeah, it's dry. It's just a little tacky. Got the flywheel painted, and I got that side painted too. Got a little overspray on it, but it ain't gonna matter. Don't ain't gonna worry about it rusting up. Now, oh, also, my friend gave me a block plate. I've been collecting all my parts, and I didn't even think about a block plate until he mentioned, asked me if I had one, and I said, you know what, I don't. Also, this flywheel did not have any dowel pins that locates the clutch, so I ordered some of those with the bolts that go with it. So I got the Mustang in the garage and got it up on jack stands. So got it up on jack stands, and I will start digging into this thing within the next couple of days. So, you know, an hour here, hour there, like I've always done all my projects, in between doing house chores and work and everything else. So, all right, I'll keep y'all updated as I get some stuff done. Thank you for watching. All right, first step was to get the drive shaft out. Got it out. And while I was underneath here, while I was underneath here, I saw a rust spot. That's a new one, right where the firewall comes down to the floor. I'll have to put some OSPO on that. It'll be okay though. Okay, I got the converter bolts out, all 4. I got the shifter unhooked. I got the O2 sensors out the way. But check this out. This noise right here has caused many nightmares. Them converter bolts come loose. Yeah, them converter bolts come loose and nightmares happen. If you got a knock, or it sounds like a tap, or it sounds like a knock, check your converter bolts if you got an automatic. Look at that. I like it a lot. What's it say? 289. Nothing like pulling your header off and you do not rip your gasket. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And this is that gasket material that's like galvanized in a way, I guess. So no gasket needed. Be able to put it back just like that. Got the bell housing bolts out other than 2. I had to undo this header to get the transmission to fall down to get through the header flanges because they're so tight. And I had to loosen the motor mounts, and everything is loose and ready to come out. Only thing I gotta do is put a jack with a piece of board on the transmission pan or the tail shaft, and then undo the cross member, which I got loose. I got the bolts out. Oh, look at that. Busted bushing. Looks like I gotta get a new one of them. And it's ready to come out. I'll have it out tomorrow. Okay, I got their transmission ready to come down. I pulled that dipstick from the top dipstick tube. Man, I got a transmission fluid bath. I did not expect that. I must have been overfilled or something. I don't know, man. I don't remember putting that much in there. Every time I check the level, it's, you know, saying it's at the regular height, you know, on the stick. So I don't know. Anyways, you see how free this passenger side wheel turns? Well, watch this. Let me go around. I think I got a caliper sticking. You can hear it. Go back to the passenger side. See that? I'm gonna have to dig into that, see what's going on. And yes, it's not touching the ground. Neither one of them are touching the ground. Anyways, let's get this thing out. All right. Transmission's down. I'll tell you what, you see all that transmission fluid on the ground? I don't know if it's showing up too good. I got smudge all over my lens. I got a transmission bath just a minute ago. Shit's all over my face. Anyways, it's down. All right, she's down. She's down. I had an old yoke that I stuck in here and zip tied it to the transmission mount so it doesn't slip out and leak, but it actually ended up coming out of there. So I stuck a piece of old rag up in there and it still got everywhere. But guess what? I don't have the car high enough to get the damn thing out, so I'm gonna have to jack up on the, I guess, the front. I think I bent my fuel line getting it out. My fuel line, it knocked it loose and everything, so I'm gonna have to double check all that. But yeah, next I'll probably do it tomorrow. I'm tired right now, man. My back's hurting. I gotta get that down. I'm gonna clean up everything, organize my tools again, and then go from there. She's out, and my back feels it. And it made a hell of a mess. Look at all that fluid. Well, actually, I got a moving blanket, and I'm glad I did because it got all on there instead of my floor. But a little bit, you can see where the indention was of the blanket where it was wet. But anyways, all right, she's out. I'm halfway there. Now I just gotta drag this heavy ass thing out and find somewhere to store it for now. I'm gonna wrap it up really good. That's the 10-inch TCI converter. It's been a good one. 3,000 stall. Foot brake's about 2,200. Flashes at 3,000. It's been a good stall converter for sure. Anyways, time to clean up my tools, clean up everything, and then reorganize and start putting back together. Without the AOD though, of course. All right, I decided to go ahead and take the flywheel off to see where I was leaking a little bit of oil, and like, see my hands dry for the most part. Nothing up here. Well, maybe it is. Yeah, actually it's that intake. I'm pretty sure. No. I thought it was this. Like, see, nothing. That's like just discoloration. Where is it? Whoa, I didn't want to tilt it back too much. Maybe it's sweating out that plug, that cam plug. See, I almost feel like the intake is sweating a little bit because it's all wet over here. You see what I'm saying? Like, oil can't go up. I almost feel like, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was the rear main seal is what I thought. As you can see, that shit's been dripping. But I think it's actually the pan gasket. I put a new rear main seal in it. I'm almost tempted to do another one. But I don't know. What I'm gonna do is probably spray everything, go to brake clean. Sorry about the yelling in the background. I'm gonna spray everything with brake clean and go from there. I am putting the bell housing up just to kind of mock up everything, to kind of see how everything's gonna fit, to make sure I got room. I'm a little questionable about these headers, where the cable runs through right there. I don't know if that's enough for room. I think it is. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? Like, I can always wrap this tube if I need to. I mean, it's clear other than this. being like kind of straight into the direction of it, you know what I mean? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at some other setups and see how they are. If I'm not mistaken, these headers are made for T5. You know, I mean, like, it didn't specifically say what they were for, if I remember correctly, when I bought them. They're the Jags brand. I think, I mean, I got a lot of room. I'm just worried about that thing, the cable coming straight and be rubbing against this, you know what I mean? And melting it. I'll have to see. Oh, man. All right, let me take a look, see what I can find out. I'm gonna do a before and after of the bell housing. We're gonna use some acid stuff. I forget what it's called. I think it's called, what's it called?
White lightning.
White lightning. Let's see how it turns out. Bell housing came pretty clean with that acid. I'm gonna have to take a wire brush and hit in here, you know what I mean? I wish I would have took it and sandblasted it, but it'd be all right. Bell housing is done. Went with the aluminum color, the Rust-Oleum 600 degree. Actually, this one, 600 Fahrenheit. So, yeah, let that, well, it's dry, but I'm gonna let it tack overnight. And I'm gonna replace the rear main seal. Waiting on it to be delivered. If it comes in time, if not, I'll just have to buy one local and then send the Amazon one back. So yeah, we'll see how much I get done. There we go, nice and clean and painted. I gotta get a new tail shaft seal and we'll be good to go. And I gotta put the plug back in. I was gonna put the gear drive for the speedometer in, but if you can tell, it has a bunch of gears in there and stuff, and I'm not too sure. I've never changed one, so I'm not too sure what I'd be getting myself into. Looks like a ton of gears in there. So this is a Tremec versus this came out of a Borg Warner. I'd have to do some research and see. It's something I could do later on. I'm not too stressing it too much. The speedometer doesn't read correctly anyway, so not too worried about it. Eventually I'm gonna go with aftermarket gauges that, you know, read off a GPS or whatever. But yeah, we'll keep this on the back burner for now, but it is something I would like to have as a speedometer. All right, I just went ahead and got a seal, rear main seal from the parts store. I felt guilty and my conscience was bothering me really bad knowing that I'm that close to the seal and I don't go ahead and replace it. Even though I just replaced the thing like 2 years ago, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it again. Cheap insurance, you know what I mean? I slept on it and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it because, you know, who's to say I put this thing back together in 6 months that thing starts leaking. So all right, about got the old one out. The best way I've seen to do this, and I've used it like this in the past, is you just, you know, I grabbed it right here, but I'm just going to pretend that I haven't grabbed it yet, is to go here, get it in, and then pull out. That way you're not taking the chance, oh, there it goes, taking the chance of going like this and then scratching your surface of your crank. So, all right, let me clean it up, put the new one in. Okay, let's take a look up in there. There's the bearing, the rear main bearing. What was I going to say? the rear main seal, the old one, was pretty dry all the way around, like in the middle here. That middle, like where my fingernail is, pretty dry all the way around. So I don't think that was leaking, but oh well. New one. So I know you don't have to, but I always put a thin layer of silicone around the outside of my rear main seal. I've had good luck doing it this way. Just make sure you use oil resistant silicone, kind of like I got right here. See, it says oil resistant right there, or any kind of oil resistant silicone will work. And this is high temp black also. So yeah, like I said, you don't have to do it, but why not? You know what I mean? New seal is in. New seal is in. Yes, I know y'all can give me shit about it if you want. I globbed silicone all around the bottom of that oil pan gasket, and I double tightened these. So they were kind of snug-ish yesterday when I checked it. I don't think it was the rear main seal, but like you just saw, I replaced it. And there's your old one. That's how I got it out with a flathead screwdriver. I ordered one, and Amazon said it was going to be here like overnight, and guess what? Now it won't be here till Tuesday, and I can't wait that long. It's holding me up. So just ran up to the parts store and got one. I really would like to went with a Felpro, but damn, they want like almost 45 bucks for a Felpro one. I went with a National, which is the same brand I had in there, National. And it wasn't leaking, it was good, so just go with that. All right, now I'll move on. I had this for a couple of years. It's a pallet bearing. I don't remember how I ended up with it, but I think that's the correct one. I'm gonna have to, well, I could test it on the transmission. Oh, I gotta untape it. Give me a minute. That's it. No wiggle, really? That's it. Okay. Now I can knock this thing in. All right. New pellet bearing is in. I think everything's okay. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put my block plate on, put that flywheel on, and bolt the starter up. Make sure the teeth engage on that flywheel correctly, because I did have to put a ring gear. I don't see why it wouldn't be right, but I'd rather find out now than after everything's together. It's never just as easy as putting everything together. There's always little small stuff that ends up making this swap or making a project add up to, let's say, $200 more than it's supposed to. In my case, I forgot I didn't have bolts to hold the transmission to the bell housing, so it is what it is. I went ahead and got some new ones. They were pretty cheap, like $1 something a piece, so no big deal. Grade 8, so that should hold up and do the job. All right, I literally just wasted an hour. Took the bell housing back off just because I wanted to check the starter against the new ring gear on the flywheel that I installed. That's good. So took the bell housing off, torqued down the bolts with the ARP lube that it came with, and went to go install the clutch. I remembered I didn't have the dowel pins, right? The locator dowel pins, which I got right here, right? Okay. I installed one. It was good. I messed up and installed one in the wrong location. I couldn't get the damn thing back out, so I had to pull the flywheel back off, knock it out with a a punch through the backside. Then I got them in the right spot. Now I just got done torquing that back down, and my day's pretty much over. I got to go inside. So yeah, just like I said, hour here, hour there, man. It is what it is. Thank y'all for watching. Clutch is in. There we go. I got the clutch torqued down. Actually, I just tightened it. I didn't put a torque wrench on it, but yeah. Okay, this was a good used clutch. It had barely any miles on it that I got with the package deal from 79 Beans. I appreciate that. This thing looked like it basically looked like it came out the box. It was basically brand new. So I got that on. Now, I guess I can go ahead and put I got to put together the bell housing with the clutch fork and all that. So with the throwout bearing, and then bolt that up, and then bolt the starter on, and then so on and so on. All right, until tomorrow. All right, so I got the new clutch fork installed, and I got it up on the ball with some grease on it. Throwout bearings on there. I got grease on it also, and I think that's it. Got new bolts to go on the bell housing. New bolts for the bell housing to the block also. Yeah, that just happened. I was hoping not to have to take that center console up, but I did. It's okay. Now, onward and upward. Okay, transmission is in. Everything's in. Got it lined up. I had to get my wife in here to help me. She was all greasy, got mad. Anyways, I got it in. I bought 4 new bolts for it. One like this, and I misplaced the last one, so I had to use one of the originals up top. I'll run across it and put it in, but man, I've looked all over. I can't find it. It's somewhere in this mess I got, but anyways, it's in for now. I gotta get one more bell housing bolt in up top, and then I can go ahead and put the cross member, put the exhaust back up, so on and so on. I got a tail shaft seal on order. Probably ain't gonna get it for another day or two. So I do want to do that. And I had to pull the shifter off to get it up in here. I laid a rag across it so no dirt gets in it. I still got to add almost 2 quarts of transmission fluid. Actually, I think it said 2.75, so almost 3. So I still got to do that. I am not going to be able to use the speedometer gear because this year model transmission is for the electronic style, and I don't have a tail shaft that will allow me to run the gear on the inside, and you have to modify the shaft to get the gear clip to work and all that. So I'm not gonna be able to do that, but I'm just gonna run it with this for now. I'll tuck this up out the way or take it off so it's not gonna be dragging the ground or getting in the way, and eventually I will maybe run across a good tail shaft and go from there. But anyways, if the speed was hooked up, it's not going to read right anyway because of the gear ratio and the tires and all that. So all right, enough talking. I'm done for today. I gotta go do house chores.